You don't need a backyard to grow your own food. In fact, this entire setup can fit in a space smaller than a chair. In this video, I'll show you exactly how to grow vegetables at home, even if you only have a balcony, a window, or a tiny corner to work with. And there's one simple setup trick that can literally double how much you grow in a small space. The biggest mistake beginners make is thinking, "I need more space to grow more food." But that's not true. Most people picture gardening like this big open farm. Rows of plants, wide land, lots of space. So when they look at their small balcony or window, they immediately think, this isn't enough. But here's what most beginners don't realize. Space isn't what limits your garden. It's how you use it. You can have a large backyard and still grow very little, or have a tiny corner and grow more than you expect. Because gardening in small spaces is not about size. It's about strategy. Instead of asking, "How much space do I have?" start asking, "How can I use this space better?" That one shift changes everything. Because once you start thinking this way, small spaces actually have advantages. Yes, advantages. You can control your soil better, manage watering easily, keep pests under control, and monitor your plants closely. In a way, small gardens are easier to manage than big ones. Your goal isn't to grow everything. It's to grow the right things, efficiently. And once you understand that, you stop feeling limited and start feeling in control. So now that you know space isn't the problem, let me show you the simplest way to multiply the space you already have. Instead of spreading plants across the ground, start growing up. Most people look at a small space and think, there's not enough room. But they're only thinking in one direction. Horizontal. The moment you start thinking vertically, your space instantly expands. And here's the crazy part. You can sometimes grow 2 to 3 times more food without using any extra floor space. You don't need anything complicated to do this. You can start with stacking containers on top of each other, hanging pots from a wall or railing, using simple shelves to hold multiple plants, or even reusing plastic bottles vertically. What used to hold one plant can now hold 4 or even more. Now not every plant is perfect for vertical gardening, so you want to choose wisely. Plants that do really well vertically. Herbs like basil and mint. Leafy greens like lettuce and spinach. Smaller vegetables like peppers. Climbing plants like beans. And climbing plants, they're where things get really interesting. Some plants naturally grow upward. You just need to give them support. Use things like sticks, simple wooden frames, strings tied upward, and suddenly, instead of spreading across your space, the plant grows up while producing more. Same plant, more yield, less space used. And here's something most beginners don't realize. Vertical gardening doesn't just save space. It also improves airflow, less disease, makes plants easier to manage, and keeps everything organized and clean. So now you've increased your space without actually getting more space. But if you choose the wrong plants, you'll still struggle to get good results. Now here's where most beginners go wrong. They try to grow everything. Tomatoes, carrots, cabbage, onions, all at once, in a small space. And what happens? Everything competes. Nothing thrives. So instead of asking, what do I want to grow? Ask this. What actually grows well in a small space? In small space gardening, success isn't about variety. It's about efficiency. You want plants that grow fast, don't take up much room, and keep producing over time. Because the goal isn't just to grow something once. It's to keep harvesting again and again. And here's the mistake most people don't realize they're making. Some vegetables are just not designed for small spaces. They need deep soil, wide spacing, a long time to grow. Examples include large cabbage, pumpkin, corn, big root crops like carrots in shallow containers. These plants will struggle and take up space that could be used more effectively. So what should you grow instead? Focus on high-return plants. These give you more food in less space. Perfect choices include lettuce and spinach, fast-growing and easy. Peppers, compact and productive. Green onions, regrow multiple times. Herbs, small, useful, and continuous harvest. Cherry tomatoes, smaller but high yield. These plants don't just survive. They perform. And here's something most beginners completely miss. There are two types of plants. One-time harvest plants. Continuous harvest plants. One-time harvest. You grow it, harvest once, and it's done. Continuous harvest. You take a little, and it keeps growing back. In small spaces, always prioritize continuous harvest plants. Because that's how you multiply your results, without needing more space. Another mistake beginners make: they try too many plants at once. Start with just 2 to 3 types of vegetables. Learn how they grow. Understand their needs. Then expand. This way, you build confidence instead of frustration. So once you've picked the right vegetables, there's one more thing that can either help them thrive or quietly kill them. And it all comes down to the container you use. In small space gardening, your container is everything. You don't need fancy pots. You can use buckets, plastic containers, old bottles, as long as they have drainage holes. No drainage equals trapped water equals dead roots. Here's the good news. In small spaces, you can control your soil perfectly. Use a simple mix: soil, compost, sand, or something for drainage. Good soil means faster growth, healthier plants, bigger harvests. But even with perfect soil, most people still slow down their plant growth with this next mistake. In small containers, watering becomes more important. Too much water, roots rot. Too little, plants struggle. So instead of guessing, check the soil. Dry water. Moist, wait. Simple habit, huge difference. Now here's something that can quietly limit your results. Light. Even if everything else is perfect, without enough light, your plants won't thrive. So place your plants near a bright window, on a balcony, or anywhere they can get consistent sunlight. More light equals more growth. So if you want to grow vegetables at home, even in a small space, here's the simple system. Grow vertically. Choose smart plants. Use containers with drainage. Improve your soil. Water correctly. And give enough light. Do this, and you'll be surprised how much food you can grow in a tiny space. But here's the part most people don't know. Even in small spaces, you can actually increase your harvest without adding more plants. In the next video, I'll show you how to get bigger and faster harvests using a few simple tricks. So if you want to grow more food with less space, make sure you subscribe, because the next video is where things really start to get exciting.